Hey y'all, this is Mary Ann Pack, your spiritual guide, and I want to welcome you to Coffee and Convo. We are recording this ahead of time because we had some technical issues, and we are so happy to be here. And I'm so thrilled to have my dear friend and colleague, Lori Raggio, with us. Welcome, Lori.
Oh, thank you, Marianne. It's so exciting to be here with you and with all your guests.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking your time to share your beautiful life with us. So let's see. If you want to ask questions, you can put them in the comments and we will get back to you on those. This will be a recorded and posted at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. It will not be live, but you are still welcome to ask questions, and Lori and I will be more than happy to answer you. Also, remember, if you want to visit my website, mariannepack.com, there's all kinds of goodies there for you. There's an opportunity also for you to buy a few things and donate. So that's all available for you. And this morning, I wanted to get us to thinking about setting our intention. You know, we always set our intention at the beginning of every show. So today I would like us to set our intention to actually commit to designing our lives, not just living by default, come what may, hit you in the face and you don't know what to do with it, but really purposefully designing our lives with the purpose of thriving. So keep that in the forefront of your mind as we go through the day, because Lori's subject is about designing our lives instead of just living by default. And how to do that. And we're going to talk about that a lot in the upcoming hour together. So I want to let you know, Lori and I met during a year-long coaching program with Darla Ledoux from Sourced. And we had such an enjoyable time. Of course, we saw each other all the time on our Zoom calls, our lessons, our meetings, and our coaching calls. But we also got to retreat in person together back when that was a thing. So eventually we're going to be restored to that, and I'll get to retreat again with Lori and with many of you coming up in the future. But it was such a delight to be able to spend time with Lori and get to know her. So I'm going to read Lori's bio because it's really good, and I want you to get a taste for who Lori is, and then we'll begin. I was living on a hamster wheel, looking for the next big thing, chasing shiny objects, and wondering why I wasn't satisfied. Supported by a coach and spiritual guide, I realized I was fixated on accomplishments, creating my sense of self out of doing instead of being. Now I know who I am: harmony, power, glow, source, heart. As founder of Inspire Greatness Coaching and Consulting, I am powered by purpose, driven by insatiable curiosity, and guided by Source to help women leverage their spiritual gifts and make an impact. So, welcome, Lori. I am so glad. And you call yourself a creation catalyst. So, I want to know all about that. So, who is Lori Raggio? We have
Oh,
all these facts about
I
you.
know, I know.
Tell us who she is deep down.
Thanks, Marianne. And, before I say that, it's when you were talking about how we met, I just remember when we were in New Orleans and we were with the group for a while. And then I think you and I decided that we had probably had it for the day and that we were going to go back to our hotels. And I just remember, really enjoying that walk and having an opportunity to get to know you better. So I just, as soon as you said that, I like immediately went to that image
Yep,
of, walking down the street and, seeing all the activity that was happening.
absolutely. Fun
Yeah,
times. Fun
I
times.
know. I know. one of the things is, I mean, I've been using the title of Creation Catalyst for probably about 2 years now. And how that really came about is that I help individuals and teams and organizations to really create, sometimes recreate, rebirth, or birth new things, new lives, new experiences. And I so enjoy those kinds of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that creation is, I think, just being so curious about where that person or that team or that organization is and where they could possibly be.
Oh, yeah.
And so part of what's been fascinating for me is getting more in tune with my own intuition, which sometimes looks like I'll be talking with someone and they'll be talking about where they are, not satisfied with where they are. And I'll get this image. Sometimes it comes as a picture. Sometimes it comes as more of a feeling, kind of like in my gut.
Right.
But I get this feeling or this image of being able to see them like down the road,
Oh.
in a situation, in a new life, in a new, opportunity. And so I'll just start asking different questions to kind of see if they can see what those possibilities really are for themselves.
Wow. That's a gift in and of itself. Just being
Yes.
able to, like you said, use your intuition, look down
Yeah.
the road, see who they really are,
Yes.
because they've already designed that life in their imagination or something, but
Mm-hmm.
just can't see it in this life. And so they
Not yet,
like,
right?
blocked, I'm stuck, I'm help,
Yeah.
help, help, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, when you talked about, how do we design this life? And the way I like to say it is design the life that you desire and deserve.
Oh.
Um, for me, that has been not only for myself, but helping other people to realize where they're stuck.
Right.
And many times where they're stuck is in what they're comfortable with.
Mm. Kind of staying put where the safe is, where they think
Yeah.
the safe is.
Where they think the safe
That they
is.
keep
Right.
creating the same old crappy life,
Right.
maybe, or mediocre, maybe not crappy, but
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I think people also don't quite understand is everything that goes into that feeling of being comfortable. So it's even our fears. So even the things that we're concerned about or that we're fearful of tend to keep us just kind of in that comfort.
Mm-hmm.
It's also feelings, good feelings, bad feelings. It's kind of those automatic ways that we deal with things. For example, if I was to, or if you were to go to a party tonight where we knew absolutely everybody there, we probably would have a certain way that we would be showing up
Yeah.
without even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we were to go somewhere and we didn't know anybody, we probably would have an automatic way of showing up.
That's
So
true.
all of those things together actually fit in what our comfort zone is.
I like that you actually said the fear part, because to me, sometimes it's like, yeah, we stay in that comfort zone because it's known. It's still a known fear. Even though it's a
Yes.
fear, it's like a comfortable fear.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, well, at least I know what this fear feels like,
Yeah.
because I don't know
Yeah.
what that fear feels like.
What that one. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. Oh, that's a really good
Yeah.
point.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think most of us don't think of fear being in that comfort zone.
Oh,
And when we're trying new things, typically what kind of gets us sucked back in to that comfort zone are those fears.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, our topic today is design the life you desire and deserve
Mm-hmm.
versus living by default or stuck in your comfort zone. Not
Yeah.
seeing possibilities. So, speak
Right.
a little bit more. I want to know a little bit more about how you help to turn people on to that it's not just their desire, but it's
Right.
they're deserving of it.
Right.
Because I'm a
Right.
huge proponent of knowing who you really are. And
Yes.
deservedness is one of those, worthiness is,
Yeah.
just huge in that. But
Yeah.
when we're in that comfort zone and we're kind of living in fear or by default or whatever, we don't know that we're deserving.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we don't think we deserve this big grandiose life that we've
Right.
always dreamed of, or that they're new dreams,
Right.
because of
Right.
how we've grown through life.
Yeah.
So we still
Yeah.
go, I want this butt,
Right. Right.
this butt. And I always say, shrink your butt.
That
I want this butt. I
would be
want this
nice.
and I'm deserving.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
Right.
speak to the deservedness of it.
Yeah. Well, I find, and I typically work with women leaders, most of the time who are, pretty successful, but there's something that's missing. Like at the end of the day, they don't feel fulfilled. So
Right.
even though they're really successful, there's something that's missing. And typically what I find is that missing piece are stories that they're telling themselves that don't allow them to feel that they're deserving.
Oh,
And
get
so,
wrapped up in an old story or something.
yes,
Yeah. I can
yes.
see that.
And so a lot of the work that I do, I bring in story. And we take a look at, what are those stories that no longer are serving them?
Mm-hmm.
And what would they prefer to put in place of those stories?
Yeah. I like that.
So, yeah, yeah.
I like that.
And
Stories that feel better to them. Stories
well,
that really
stories,
resonate with their soul.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Because the old
yes.
stories don't resonate. You can feel them. They don't
No,
feel good. But if
well,
they're resonating, if there's really true to you, true to
yes,
your values, true to who you are
yeah,
on the inside, yeah, they'll resonate
yes,
with you.
yeah,
They may feel a little foreign at first
yes,
because we're just not used to feeling them.
right,
But yeah,
right.
very good. I like that.
Well, there's an interesting activity that I do often with some of my coaching clients to kind of get at that story. And what I do is I ask them if they have multiple chairs in the area that they're in as we're having our conversations. And what we do is we actually have one of those chairs typically be their past, one their present, and one their future. And so we take a look at where does fear fit in there? Does fear need its own chair? And what we then do is we actually use the chairs to represent kind of where they are in different stages of looking at perhaps a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask them to actually put the chairs where they feel most comfortable. So is their, future chair way across the room, or is the future chair sitting right next to them? And
Yeah.
then they will sit in those individual chairs and talk about what does it feel like, and like really get in touch with where are they feeling it in their body, and then decide what chair do they want to be in. And it's so powerful.
That would be that would be because you're physically moving yourself to
Yes.
that almost that place in time
Yes.
in our mind, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow, the energy,
Yeah.
the energy of
Yes.
the
And it's all about the energy. And so if where they currently are It's not necessarily what's aligned with their values and their purpose. And they can look at that future chair and say, well, what do I need to do to get there? Like, do I need to let go of an old story? Do I need to set some limits with maybe people in my life? Do I need to let go of some of those fears and start living, some of those other possibilities? Like what is it?
And I like to actually think about it. It's kind of like you had in your bio. It was more about the being rather than
Yes,
doing. But all those things that you mentioned is actually a state of being.
it
Even
is.
though we think we're doing it, it's
Yeah.
really who we're becoming.
Yes.
Are we
Yes.
valuing ourselves enough to create those boundaries? Are we valuing ourselves enough to say no to this and maybe yes to that?
Yeah.
Or wait, I'll give
Yes.
you an answer later. Or, yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a lot more about being than doing.
Yeah. And it's being kind, I think, to
Yes,
ourselves.
absolutely.
One of the things that I've learned myself that I recently did with my own coach was that I was noticing that some of my knowing really in the past was probably more ego focused,
Mm.
but it helped me to get to where I was in my career. It actually was supporting. And over the last couple of years, I've learned that that knowing now is really more intuitive versus ego. And I didn't want to totally let go of the old knowing because I might need it at some point.
Sure.
So I actually have and purchased a box. Let me show you. It's really fascinating.
Good.
So I have, and this is something that I think all of us can take a look at. So it was a part of me that was extremely helpful and supported me to
Beautiful.
get to where I was.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't things that were currently serving me. So I didn't want to 100% let go of it.
Right.
So I got this box. It's beautiful. It's all velvet lined inside. And it's a visual for me because right now they're being honored. They're in this box.
Yeah.
They're right where I can get them if I need them.
Mm-hmm.
But right now they're not serving where I'm going and what the intention is for building this life for me that I desire and deserve.
Oh my
So I think,
goosebumps thinking about all the things that you're teaching us in this short amount of time already.
yeah.
Chairs and boxes, and knowing that we can go get them if we need them, but
Yes.
put them aside. It's
Yes.
safe to put
Yes.
them aside. They're in a beautiful box. They're
Yeah.
contained. You can go look at them if you need to. So it's
Yeah.
not like you're scared,
No.
they're just
No.
safe. And you may
No.
never pull them out. You may never
Mm-hmm.
look at that box again.
Right.
But you've done for you, you've gifted yourself
Yes.
that visual, because
Right.
to me, I have lots of visual reminders, uh Meredith's altar cards
Yes. Yes.
and sayings and quotes I'll take here or there, or take
Yeah.
something, because we're very forgetful people.
Yes.
We need to be reminded. We have to be reminded. That's, I think, why people like rituals,
Mm-hmm.
things that they do consistently, traditions, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
bringing it to the forefront. Okay,
Right.
it's Thanksgiving. Let's go do this. It's family
Right.
time. It's birthday month, day for the month, and we celebrate all the
Right.
birthdays on this day, and just those rituals that can help you make memories and
Mm-hmm.
keep it in the forefront. Yeah, I love
Well,
that. I love
and I
that.
think what I have found is that it's rather than shaming ourselves and saying, that's something that didn't work before, I can never go back and do that again. but to actually honor it in a visual way like this, I think is a way of really caring about ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would think, because I'm kind of that way as far as like when I think of past things, and I've talked about this before on other coffee and combos, and about when, you think of something stupid or whatever that you've done that you just go, you know, I can't believe I did that, or that's how I responded to the situation or person or whatever, that we beat ourselves up over,
Mm-hmm.
or we regret, or we, criticize ourselves for. Can we jot those down and stick them in that box too?
Absolutely.
That's a
Yeah,
great place
absolutely.
for those things, because
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point, I'm better, where I'm getting to the point where instead of beating myself up on those things now, I actually thank them, because those were stepping
Yes.
stones in who I am today. They
Yes.
helped me realize, oh, I don't want that, but I do want this improvement.
Right. Right.
And this would serve me better, because that's definitely not serving me.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
getting better at not punishing myself, or not
Mm-hmm.
browbeating myself or beating myself over the head about it.
Yeah.
I just go, thank you. You
Right.
help
Right. Yeah.
me know what I want. So
Yeah.
we could just drop that little one right in the
Yeah.
box and close the lid.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that it gets to what you're talking about of deserving, because we all deserve what we want.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We all are deserving. But I think, you know, this will kind of tie into the gift that I'm offering, and it's called the Essence Conversation. But part of what I hear women say is that some of their fears are that they're an imposter, or that they're concerned about people learning that perhaps they look one way on the outside, but if they really knew me on the inside, they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't accept me, I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those kind of fears also can get in the way
Absolutely.
of us making the decisions and the choices that are going to help us to create that life that we desire and deserve.
Oh,
You know?
I totally agree with that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
browbeat ourselves with those things. And the thing is, if most people would take the time to poll their friends or
Yes.
people that they know, they're not saying that. They're
No.
enamored by you. They're
Yes.
proud of you. They're like, "Yes, go for it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
deserve this."
Yeah.
You'd get a whole different story, I think, if you polled
Yes.
some of these people around you, that
Yes.
it wouldn't be that message at all.
Yeah.
And to me, because I work so much with the law of attraction and believe in that, I think when we browbeat ourselves like that, it feels so bad,
Mhm.
because our inner being doesn't think that way about us.
Right.
So we're not in alignment. We're thinking this vastly
Yes.
contradictory thought. And that's that discord you feel with
Yeah.
your inner being to who you really are.
Right.
Because if you're thinking, I'm an imposter and it feels horrible,
Yeah.
guess what? Ask your inner being, okay, if this feels horrible, what's the truth about me?
Right.
What am
Right.
I really? What do you think about me? And you will hear the most loving, kind words that will just thrill your soul.
Yeah.
If you take some time to do that. So
Yeah. Well,
I,
and that's a great tie-in, because part of the Essence Conversation is that people go and ask at least 10 individuals in their life a question. And the question is, what shows up when I do? What qualities do I bring into a room?
mm,
And it's amazing what people are given back.
I love that.
I've had more individuals say, I never saw myself like that. And they start to see themes, so maybe they'll ask that question to family members, friends, colleagues, anybody really in their life. And constantly they're amazed at the feedback they get.
I imagine they would be. So since you're leading into that, let's just go into these essence conversations that you have.
Yeah.
Tell us about those, because this is your expertise. And I want everybody to know what you do and how you coach. And
yeah,
it's
sure.
part of your work, I would think.
Well, the essence conversation is something that I learned about 3 years ago in my coaching program. And the coaching program was considered an ontologic coaching program. So the whole focus was on how are people being and becoming. I mean, that's kind of the philosophy that I have with coaching. But this was an activity that we learned, and I have used it ever since. Whether it's with somebody who I already have a coaching relationship with, or someone who I just think it could be a helpful kind of activity to explore. But it really involves about 2 1-hour conversations. And it is taking a look at that person's comfort zone and kind of where they get stuck, and then starting to explore what other opportunities might be for them to be able to move beyond those fears. And they do ask at least, 10 people, sometimes more, that question. And when we pull all of that information together, and then using my own intuition and the feedback that person has gotten, I come up with 5 words that describe their essence, their true, authentic self. And then we talk about how would their life be different if they constantly showed up as that essence. And it's just I mean,
conversation alone could be very life-changing.
It's a powerful, powerful conversation. And I think, what I have seen in my own experience and others is that those 5 words become kind of your foundation with, what your business is going to perhaps look like. I've seen people use it in their marketing material, on their websites, in their bios and descriptions of, how they show up on a daily basis in their business. I mean, I know I use mine. So, when you mentioned the bio, I mean, harmony, power, source, glow, and heart, I use those daily in how I interact with people.
Right. So they're almost like are part of your core values.
Yes.
Do you think?
Yeah. I do think that your core values go into that. Your true purpose kind of goes into what your essence is. Yeah.
Yeah, because these are kind of like yours are harmony, power, glow, source, heart. So those are kind of almost more general words that can encompass so much more. I mean, underneath harmony, that could be harmony in relationships, harmony in how my business flows, harmony in how my customers are satisfied, harmony, so it's on almost umbrella terms. Is that more kind of, so they can almost like build. What does harmony mean to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so for me in my business, that means connection. It means connecting myself to other people in deep relationships and connecting other people to each other. So some of my friends and colleagues know that I will find individuals that I think should be connected together and help make those connections.
Yeah.
So that's part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love that. Um, let's see, I'm not sure what time it is, and I've lost track of time here. Well, I do you think living by design again is more about like kind of how you think, what you believe, your attitude, all those things aren't they like wrapped up in how we want to design our lives?
Yes. Yeah, I believe
You
so,
kind of have to
Marianne.
have a good grasp on some of those things.
Yeah. And I think it also has a lot to do with choice,
Yes, very much.
right?
Yeah.
So, I can just give an example um, for myself. So back in December, after a retreat, I went home and told my husband, who I'd been married to for 31 years, that I wanted a divorce.
Oh,
So getting to that point of feeling out of alignment, and not having, um, living more in my comfort zone for sure,
yeah.
you know, and realizing that, there's other opportunities and things that would be available to me if I made that change. Um, and then actually being able to move to a location that truly my heart and soul have been calling me to for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
Wow.
what I'm finding is that as I am taking these risks, making these changes, living the life that I feel I desire and deserve, it's also showing up in the people who I work with.
Yeah.
It's that energy that is available for me that I think is, again, kind of transferring to them as well. When I look at some of my clients, even during COVID, they're making amazing changes in their lives, like amazing changes,
Mhm.
new relationships, new jobs. So they're also moving beyond that comfort zone,
Yes.
and they're making those choices.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's definitely about choices and knowing what's best for you, what feels about what
Yeah.
will serve you the most.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you've been in such a normal place and you've been stuck in that comfort zone for so long that you didn't even realize you've outgrown it.
Yes.
I mean, for me, that's how, yeah, leave a husband after 20 some years. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it was like do or die.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
to the point where if I don't do this now, I'm not going to see my 50th birthday.
Right.
It was
Right.
that strong of
Yeah.
a oppressed feeling that
Yes.
was so
Yeah.
caged or, and it's in me. It's, you know,
Right.
uh, no fault. I'm not pointing fingers here.
Right. Right.
I had so outgrown that. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean everybody does. A lot of times couples grow together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is you will find what is right for you to move into. When you work
Right.
with Lori, find your essence and be able to put those umbrella words together and build the life you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, Marianne, I'm just curious, like when you got to that point, like what changed for you? Like what got you to that point where you were like, no, I really deserve something different?
I was so this is gonna be a real vulnerable moment here. I was the boys, of course, were grown and pretty much gone and doing their thing,
Yeah.
and I was just doing a visioning thing. And I had a health food store at the time, so I was working there. And anyway, one day I was taking some time to do some visioning, and I was visioning this other office space, and um, Anyway, I went to go greet the door at to welcome in some guests. And I looked up over my shoulder when I thought it was going to be my husband standing there. It wasn't him. And I was like, I'm going to get divorced.
It just was this
It was just
immediate download of,
yes,
yeah,
we're not staying together. I couldn't envision who this person was.
right.
But there was a knowing that
Mm.
I had so outgrown this relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was starting to be this, come along, come on,
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of joyous growing together. And I knew in that split second, I'm going to get a divorce.
Mm.
This for my highest good. And when I left, I started waking up happy and going to bed happy. And I never knew you could do that.
Yes. Yeah.
And it wasn't easy peasy. Let me tell you, I lost my business. When
Sure.
2008
Sure.
hit and the
Yeah.
crash hit by 2009, I had to close my doors, and it was my baby.
Mm.
So anyway, it's just
But I think what you're saying, and this is what I'm finding for myself as well as what I think I specialize in in helping women with, is getting to that point where you can recognize it and then you can act on it.
yeah,
And that is part of taking care of yourself and deserving, yeah, something different.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think what your work does is give them that knowing,
Mm-hmm.
so that it's not, even though I knew that's what I was going to do and I had to do that, it's like wild horses couldn't, it was such an inspired impulse for me that when the time came, wild horses couldn't drag me from it. I had to do
Right.
it. If my
Right.
soul was so calling
Right.
to move
Yeah.
forward instead of constantly wearing these chains
Yeah.
and thinking of myself as I'm not deserving, because
Right.
I didn't grow up being able to speak up for myself and ask for what I wanted. It was not
Mm.
allowed. Women were subservient, and that's the way it was. And you held your tongue, and well, guess
Mm.
what? I That doesn't resonate with my soul, and it is not for my highest good.
Yeah.
I deserve to have my voice acknowledged,
Right.
my desires
Right.
acknowledged.
Right.
So, yeah, I think what your service is allowing women to finally know who they are,
Mm-hmm.
know their deservedness and their worthiness, and like
Yeah.
you said, open themselves to the possibilities.
Right. Right.
And I like to say the possibilities, then the probabilities, because it is a promise. It's
Yes.
just that
Yes.
beautiful cascade of
Yeah.
grow into this and learn who you are, which Lori is harmony, power, glow, source, and heart.
Right.
What beautiful umbrella words to carry you through.
Yeah. And I wanted to thank you, Marianne, for sharing that. I know that was vulnerable and it wasn't what you were expecting, I'm sure.
Oh,
But the
I've told
power,
very, very, very few people.
right, right. So the power of us being, vulnerable and using our voice is
Mhm.
so critical. So I wanted to share this picture with you and tell you a little bit of a story kind of behind this. And this is an image that I think kind of captures not only what I'm doing in my own life, but what I'm hoping other women will do. And in this picture with the merry-go-round, if you think about these horses go around, some of them might go up and down, but they're doing basically the same thing all the time. They're beautiful, right? On the outside, they get repainted probably annually, so they're very beautiful. But there is much more than going around and up and down on this merry-go-round. So being able to get off this merry-go-round, go play, go experiment, go check out what else is available. They can always go back to the merry-go-round if they want.
Mm-hmm.
But this idea that, stopping, kind of, pausing, like Meredith, talks about,
Yes.
and go experiment, find out what else is out there. Who else do you want to be? And explore. And that's kind of more the fun piece of it, I think, that this whole process, even though it might feel scary at first, can actually be a lot of fun. And so I just love this image. It just kind of captures all of that for me.
Mm-hmm. Just the excitement of the horses leaping.
I know.
They're going into the unknown.
Yeah.
But look at their excitement.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
foggy day.
Yeah.
A foggy evening.
Yeah.
And yet they're taking the plunge to
Mm-hmm.
get out of that comfort zone, out of that circle, just going round and round, creating the same life over and over.
Yeah.
And like you
Yeah.
said, go explore, go look for
Yep.
the possibilities, go see what's out there.
Yeah.
They don't know what's out there. They've never been
No.
on a cycle before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Very, oh, that's a dynamic photograph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Picture that,
I love it.
ooh, that captures the essence of that.
Yeah.
That, you could pick out 5 essence words right here.
I know. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun image, and I use it a lot to just kind of describe the process.
That's excellent. I love that. I love that. So I know you have some kind of a gift in regards to your essence conversations, and I would like you to at least let everybody know what they might be in.
Sure. Well, I don't know exactly how this works, but my thinking was, maybe the first 5 people that say that they heard about it through your show would have the opportunity to receive it for free. And altogether, the value is
for free.
Yes.
5 of these essence. You're talking
Yes.
2-hour conversations.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, normally the charge is about $825 for the whole thing. So, but I believe it, and I believe so much in the power of it that that I would like to do that.
Okay, so I'm writing this down. The first 5 that contact you. Now, how can they contact you?
Yeah, really, the best way is to
first, well, describe just kind of like a little synopsis of what you do in the, the process, so that they know what they're coming into.
Yeah, so I will
conversation.
Yeah, so there's some documents that we refer to in the conversation. So I would be sending that to them so that they can see exactly what we would be talking about. Mm-hmm. And so it's like 2 one-hour conversations. In between those 2, they go ask these 10 plus people those questions. Okay. They get all that information, that feedback, and then they send it to me. And then I come up with their 5 words, and then we have that second conversation to talk about, what was the process like? What did they learn? Mm-hmm. What do they think about these 5 words? What do they mean to them? Mm-hmm. And then really, how could their life change if they really focused on showing up as that essence, both in their personal and their professional life? So, yeah, very powerful. But the best way that they can reach me is through email.
Okay.
And that's Lori, Lori at inspiregreatnesscoaching.com.
Okay, I will be putting this in the Inspire Greatness Coaching.
Yes.
And the only reason Lori needs you to email her right now is she is completely rebranding her website. Yes. So it is not available to look at. But, just contact Lori. You got 5 chances to get in here. She's only given these to the first 5. So get your email to Lori, Lori at Inspire Greatness Coaching at .com.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay, that will
Yeah.
be, that link will be in here by the time this is
Okay.
posted. And
Okay.
is there anywhere they can follow you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
Yep.
LinkedIn, are you under Lori Raggio?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Lori Raggio, you see her name there under her
Yes.
spelled out. And so she's on LinkedIn and she's on Facebook under the same name.
Yes. Yes.
And do
Same
you
name.
have a Facebook group at all? A free group that people join or no?
Not right now.
Okay, very good. So
Yeah.
you can go friend Lori and talk to her if you
Yes.
want to, private message her for a minute first, or
Hmm.
if not, just email her and ask your questions.
Yes.
Lori's a
Absolutely.
heart. Don't be afraid to email her and ask her questions about
Yeah.
this essence conversation and try to get in on those first 5 ones so that you can get it for
Yeah.
free. This is a huge value, people. It's just,
Yeah.
this is very gracious, more than I thought.
Mm.
Um, so we're just going to announce next time. Coffee and Convo is going to be on October the 11th. We're already in October, guys. October
Oh, I
the
know.
11th
It's
at 10 a.m. Central, of course. And our guest is going to be Olivia Florian, and she's all the way from Sweden.
yes.
So she's the founder of Olivia Florian, and she is a creative evolution catalyst. This woman is so creative, and
She
her
is.
artwork is unbelievable. So be sure you come back and listen to my interview with Olivia. Um, she helps. I think we're going to talk about coloring outside of the lines for vibrant living of life.
Mm.
So, and the other announcement I did want to make is I have, some of you already know that I am a channel for my spirit guides, and they refer to themselves as the many. So recently I have been in conversation with them, and I asked them for an essential oil blend that would be really calming and soothing and uplifting and encourage our spiritual growth and who we are, like during meditation or before we go to sleep, or some kind of a blend. And this is
Mm.
what came out of that.
Hmm.
They called it intuition. So it's just a roller of 5 different essential oils. And I just asked them for a recipe. And this is what came out of that
Hmm.
conversation with my spirit guides. So I am really pleased with this. It's just amazing. I've had so many people use this already. Lori, have you ever gotten yours packaged?
Not yet. No, no. I'm sure sometimes, I mean, it's coming to Arizona, so sometimes the
Yeah,
mail's
but
kind of
it's only
slow.
coming from Texas to Arizona. That's not that far.
Well,
Of course, it was COVID.
yes, yes.
So it seems like most of the other people I've already mailed them to have received them. But
Okay.
anyway, if y'all are looking for something, this is just a blessing. It has been a blessing already for me, just being able to use it. And so you can find that on my website, mariannepack.com. The other thing that I have going on is October 1st,
Mm-hmm.
the ability to ask my spirit guides questions is going to go live. So it's called Ask the Many, and you can watch for that. Those posts have been on my Facebook page, and just keep your eye open for October 1st is when the actual link goes live. So, Lori, do you have any delightful parting words for us? Words of wisdom, words of encouragement, words of joy?
Yeah. Well, and before I say that, I just want to say congratulations that you're starting that October 1st. And just wanted to let everyone know that I have been a recipient of asking questions and getting the answers from Marianne, and they've been extremely powerful. So thank you. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think what I would say is, especially with everything that's going on right now, life is too short. So
Yes.
now is the time for us really to take the time to dig deep and to find out who we are, who we want to be,
Absolutely.
and to really focus on designing that life
Mm-hmm.
that we do feel is what we desire and deserve. So,
I love
yeah.
that.
And thank you, Marianne, so much for having me on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. Trying to get everybody scheduled here, and it has been just a delight. These coffee and conversations have just been such a thrill for me. It really
Mm,
sparked an interest in. I never thought I
yeah.
would be a good interviewer, and maybe I'm still not, but it's been fun.
Oh, you are. You are.
At any
Yeah.
rate, we're happy to do this and happy to provide this service because
Yeah.
I know that so many people are either so busy or they don't know where to head for coaching. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to pick a coach. And this is why I am doing Coffee and Convo. I bring on coaches that I know are people of high integrity, people of
Mm,
intuition, people of heart. These are women who I personally know, who I have personally coached with or been in a program.
mm-hmm.
Somehow I have
Right.
some kind of connection with these women.
Yeah.
And I know they would provide you with the perfect coaching. So if you have a question about how to find a coach, call me,
Mm-hmm.
contact me any way you can. We will work together and figure out a myriad of coaches. I have many more that's on my list to be interviewed. So I have an opportunity to touch base with my spirit guides and ask them who would be a good of good service to this person for where they are right now, what they want to accomplish. So I want to connect you with the perfect coach. I want to serve you in that way. So, um, Lori is always available. Email her today. Don't miss out on these 5 slots. She's only offering 5, but 5 is huge. What, what is that kind of value? So take advantage of it. I thank you, Lori, for being my guest. I love you. I love what you're doing in the world. And uh, stay tuned for more fun things from Lori and watch for her new her new website. So thank you, Lori. Thank you for being my guest. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.